I cannot and I will not by any means say that this is good for the advancement of black people, particularly for black men, and in general the black family. I am sorry, but Malik Yoba, you could have either kept that to yourself, or I would have rather you come out and say that you were bisexual. I feel as though if you would have said that you were bisexual, it would have been more sincere. I believe that Malik Yoba is actually, he's basically trying to gather the attention of a particular group. I personally think he's doing this not so much to be an activist, but I think he's doing it for his career. I'm just going to keep it real. I don't care anymore. I'm not sugarcoating anything, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Hey everybody, it's your girl Miss Analytical, and I'm back to share another article that I happened upon yesterday. So, I'm going to say this. There has always been whispers, talks about people, particularly men in the industry, that have a penchant for transgender women. That goes back to the 1980s, really with Eddie Murphy. Okay. When I was talking about Eddie Murphy, it was very much taboo. But it didn't ruin his career. But we, as people reading magazines, newspapers, seeing the news, watching TV, we never saw it. Unless we were in the same room of him talking with a transgender woman, it was just a rumor. But it was always floating around that Eddie Murphy had a thing for transgender women. Then, in the 90s, during the rise of hip-hop, all your favorite rappers was rumored to like transgender women. People like LL Cool J. I believe they said it was another one. Let me see. Oh, Dr. Dre. They said Dr. Dre. And it was so many more. I can't really get their names straight, but it was a lot. But it was mainly hip-hop more so than R&B and even movie and television actors. The 2000s, you still heard it, but by that point, it was more like, yo, he likes men. Then we get into this decade, and now we have rappers coming out that are black, and we have actors that are coming out that are black. But they've come out stating that they like men. This is different because what Malik Yoba has done, he's actually the first black entertainer has openly stated that he is attracted to transgender women. So he's actually, in my opinion, has made history on this. But I don't agree with what he did. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I feel as though he's masking his truth. He's not telling us if he's bisexual or if he's not gender fluid, sexually fluid. He's not saying the truth. He's making it seem like he's a straight man, but he's still, let me take a beat right. His attraction to trans women, he's not letting it be known whether he is bisexual or sexually fluid. And I have a problem with that. You cannot be a straight man and be attracted to trans women. It's not gonna rock, because I'm gonna tell you why. A biological woman, as myself, and as most biological women, if we see that a man is attracted to a transgender woman, we're not gonna ever think that he's straight. We're gonna look at him as bisexual. We can't see him as straight because we know that he doesn't like women who are like us. He likes a woman that's either born male and it's post-op, or born male and it's pre-op. I personally think he's into the women that are pre-op, that hasn't had the surgery. She had the top surgery, but not the bottom surgery. And I think he's trying to let us know that, in so many words, I'm bisexual. But I don't want to be with a man per se. I want to be with a transgender woman who's post-op. Now, there's an article from Vibe magazine. And the reason why I'm reading it from Vibe magazine is because when Vibe magazine was in its prime, that's when New York Undercover made its debut. And New York Undercover made its debut in 94. Vibe made its debut in 93. And a lot of the press that New York Undercover received was from the help of Vibe magazine. If it wasn't for Vibe magazine, New York Undercover wouldn't have been the show that it was, because they weren't getting a lot of press from the, you could say, traditional white publications. So I'm going to read it from here. So it says, Malik Yoba reveals he's attracted to transgender women. Beloved New York Undercover actor Malik Yoba has taken to social media to call out toxic masculinity and reveal he's attracted to transgender women. The 51-year-old actor took to Instagram last week and posted a video of Maurice Reese Willoughby, a 20-year-old who was taunted by other men in his Philadelphia neighborhood for his relationship with his transgender girlfriend, Faith. Reese soon began trending on Twitter after it was discovered he took his own life. Yoba directed his post towards black men, stating intimidation isn't a form of masculinity. Trans love is okay, and bullying has nothing to do with masculinity or has heterosexual behavior. Trans people deserve love and respect, as do those who love them, Yoba captioned. I love all women and count myself among those who find themselves trans attracted. After making the assertion in the lengthy post, Yoba admitted to feeling the societal shame a lot of men do for loving trans women. I too have felt the self-imposed shame that comes with that truth, but it's time to speak up. It's not about genitalia or sex, but about attraction to the soul and humanity of an individual, and often the beauty that is in the courage and conviction to live one's truth. Now, first of all, about Reese Willoughby. That video did talk about him dating a trans woman, but what they won't say, according to Faith's friends, he was abusing Faith. It had nothing to do with him being picked on. It had everything to do with the fact that he was a drug addict. And he was an abuser. He was an abuser. But mainstream media is trying to make the black heterosexual male the villain of the story. Now, I'm going to say this. Since you want to talk about transgender women and how we should support them, and that trans love is okay, and that the bullying should cease, which I agree they should not be bullied. However, are you going to talk about Jacob Nieves, the 19-year-old that basically raped the 4-year-old girl? You want to talk about that? Because if you want to basically paint the picture of trans bullying, you got to talk about trans people sexually abusing kids, because that has been going on. Not with every trans person, of course, but that has been going on. What about her pain? Okay? And it's very interesting that his coming out as being trans attracted is around the time when that story broke of that little girl being molested by that person. Now I'm going to get into it. Malik Yoba, just say that you're bisexual. Just say that, you've been with trans women, because you're not saying it. See, he's saying that he's trans attracted. Okay, fine. Are you going to ever tell them that you ever been with a transgender woman? Or is it something that you want to do? Because I expect to see him with a transgender woman. So all the women that was attracted to him before, who are biological women, y'all can kiss that fantasy goodbye. that's a wrap. That is a wrap. And I will say, the woman that he was with a couple of years ago, she's a white woman. She looks like a transgender woman. That's a sign right there. There are a lot of men that do date women that look like men. And I've always questioned men that do that. But I'm like, okay, well, maybe he sees something in her that's special. But with learning about this transgender movement, I'm starting to say, well, maybe he likes transgender women, but he can't be with a transgender woman because he doesn't feel comfortable. He's afraid. So he wants to be with a woman that looks like a man who is living their life as a woman. This commentary is no way, shape, and form to insult any community, but it's keeping it real. And I'm keeping it real by saying this. We as black people, we're in a position now where we're losing numbers. We're not producing like we used to. Our families, majority of them are shattered. And a lot of our people are in prison, drug addicted, or they can't have kids. Let's keep it real. We need to basically build up the family. And trans people, whether they're female or male, they can't do it. They can adopt a child, but they can't reproduce. That's why I'm not for the movement at all. Okay? I believe Malik Yoba is genuinely attracted to trans women, but I also believe that the powers that be are paying him to push it. I believe that he's being paid to basically have this movement, do this workshop to get other young black men to say, well, I'm trans attracted too. Then they won't be looking at us anymore, not even the young biological girls anymore. They'll be with trans women. And then you really won't have us reproducing like we should. Our numbers will really go down. It's a front. But at the same time, Malik is going to get rewarded. How so? Watch him get more roles. Not so much this year, but watch 2020. Watch him do 5 shows back to back. And watch him get a series of his own. I'm telling you, he's going to get a show. This dude is going to blow up because now, if you're down with the LGBTQ movement, you get work. If you speak out against them and you don't apologize, you suffer the consequences. And with that being said, this is your girl, Miss Hand Little Cool. I'm signing off. Share this commentary, like, subscribe, and I would love to hear your comments. And just so you know, I also did a couple of other commentaries yesterday. Look for those too. I'm also on Spotify. Look for everything as well. All my old shows and everything. So I'm signing off. I'll be back tonight. Take care and have a great day.